A lot of people get overwhelmed with the goals that they set. They look at the goals, they set big goals. That's a good thing. But then they look at that and they say, wow, they get knocked around a little bit and they say, well, I guess I can't accomplish that. So one of the lessons that I learned when I was doing marathons and Century, which are 100-mile bike rides, was that don't look at the complete task. Know what you want to get accomplished, absolutely. But then chunk that down into steps. When you get ready to do a marathon, most people don't go out and say, okay, I'm going to run 26.2 miles. They say, okay, I'm going to run a mile, I'm going to go into a 5K, a 10K, maybe a half marathon, and then they work themselves up to a marathon. Same thing with cycling. Same thing pretty much with any skill set. You don't go from the starting to want to play baseball to the major leagues very often. There are some steps in between. That's also true for this process of business acquisition. There's a reason that in the boot camps that I've done and this methodology, there are steps to it. And a lot of people want to jump that step and just say, well, I'll go do a deal and then I'll really have some credibility here. No, follow the steps. Spend time to understand the industry and what you want to do. Build your board of directors. Get your professionals. Talk to your financial institutions. And then talk to potential acquisition targets. That's the process, and that's why we do that. If you don't know what those steps are, you should not be doing this process. You should know those steps. One of the ways to do that is we just finished up the Acquisition Advantage Boot Camp. Those 7 videos are all recorded now, step by step. They have Q&As after them. And this Wednesday, we are going to start the monthly live Q&A, which is a great way for you to stay current and ask questions going forward. So if you have gotten that, great. I'll see you perhaps on, or hear you, perhaps on Wednesday. If not, go over to brucewhipple.com, take a look under the courses and boot camps, and get that acquisition advantage. If you want to go there directly, it's just brucewhipple.com go.brucewhipple.com/AABC. Let me do that again for you. go.brucewhipple.com/AABC. But following those steps is really important. That will then keep you focused. I remember talking to someone who ran a 100-mile race, and he did it. It wasn't really a race. He did it on a high school track. 100 miles on a high school running track. And he said, I couldn't visualize 100 miles on that track. I mean, just going around and around and around. So I just said, let me focus on this lap. Let me focus on the next lap. Let me focus on the lap after that. So he got to 100 miles, took him about 24 hours, but he did it just a lap at a time. Same is true as I say here. Follow the steps. Make sure you understand them. Put a great team together, and then action, no substitute for that. So if you are getting my emails, fantastic. If you are not getting my emails, you can go over to brucewhipple.com, grab the free class, which will tell you how to get started with some conversations at different levels, which is helpful. Again, how to start. And if you want to go there directly, just go to brucewhipple.com/free course. But remember that. Set big goals, absolutely. But then chunk those big goals down into accomplishments along the way. And remember in this process to follow the steps. Those that don't usually end up wishing that they did follow the steps. So don't do that. Okay, have a great week. Keep pushing. And if you are in the Acquisition Advantage Boot Camp, attend on Wednesday. You'll get an email on that, and you can ask questions that you want answered directly from me. It's live.